picture perfect, and we are three moms just trying to figure it out together. Let's get real. Welcome to the Think Loud Crew podcast.
I'm just gonna say off back, I just want you guys to know we are genuine friends / sisters. We share real ass moments together.
Shanan just shared something, and I'm like,
I just want to throw it out there
really quickly. Just the mind is blown.
And
now
Cheyenne shirt says out of sight.
Now we have to start this, and I have to pretend like my mind hasn't just been blown. But
anyways,
I do want to start with Shanan, because I feel like when we walked in, it was all over your face that your life is lifing today or this week or whatever, and I think it's good for you to talk about.
Yes. I feel like we talk about it a lot on this podcast about balancing work, motherhood, you know, pouring into ourselves and all of it. And I feel like this week has been, I know it's only Wednesday. We're
oh my God, it's only Wednesday.
Is it only Wednesday?
Yes. Yeah. I'm really thinking like this week is at the end.
No.
So you've had a week too.
Girl.
It's been a long week, and today was one of those days where I was going to work and all I could do was cry. And it was one of those other moments where like, okay, do I just suck it up and just pretend I don't need to cry, or do I just release? And I said today I'm going to release because I'm feeling all my emotions. Like, I'll let you know what those emotions are. I'm like still grieving of my brother, and I think, you know, it comes in waves and it hits me different every single time when it comes. So today I've just like been thinking about him. I miss him. I'm angry that he's left. All those emotions like just go through my head while I'm like thinking about things, and I think we're at the end of the journey where Parker's about to go to school, but I feel like trying to make sure that your kid is happy and making sure they have all the activities and making sure that all the things while you need to go to work, get your career stuff going, all the things going. I think it just hit me all at once this morning, and I like left home and I was like, okay, I got this. I'm a badass. Like, sometimes I have those talks, like, I'm a badass mom. Like, I do this. Like
giving yourself affirmations.
Yeah, the reassurance. So I did that today. But then I'm like, you know what? I'm still sad, though. Yeah. Because those moments, like, you have to feel. So today I've been feeling. And I had to gear up for today's episode because I'm like, okay, Shanan, get it together. Put on a face. Like, you got this. But sometimes my face just always says it. But I came home really quick because I feel like I'm working crazy today, but I was done with my job today on set, and then I came home real fast. I was like, let me go give Parker some love. I did Just Dance. Have you ever guys done that with your kids?
I know what you're talking about, yeah.
We did Just Dance. He was so happy.
I love it.
And we were dancing together.
I love it.
And then I came here, and I'm just like, you know, like, you have, like, those little moments count, and Parker asked me, he was like, what's wrong? And I was like, no, I'm okay. But then he's like, no, let me know what's wrong.
Yeah.
So I let him know. I said, well, mommy is sad about, I'm sad about my big brother being gone. Mommy just wants to be a good mommy to you. And I let him know. So he was like, okay. And then he was like, well, once we did Just Dance, he was like, you are being a good mom. Thank you.
Aww.
Like, thank you for dancing with me. That was a lot of fun. He was like, I hope this helped you. I hope this helped, you know.
Yeah.
Made you feel better.
Change the energy.
Yeah. So I feel like saying all that to say, when you have those moments, just release, because it doesn't help to hold it in. It doesn't help at all.
It's weird how grief hits you. Like, there's no handbook.
No.
You know what I mean?
At all.
Yeah.
I think I always get a reflection of him, because in the honor of him, we put a tree in the honor of him, and it's right outside my door. So I always see it, and I'm always like, you know, sometimes I'll water it and talk to him and all those type of things. So when I see the tree in the morning, sometimes I'm like, I see you, brother. I see you.
You feel his energy.
I feel his energy. Because, yeah. So, yeah, grief is just so interesting. It's such a roller coaster, and everyone keeps saying that. I also saw him in my dream. He visited me in my dreams on Sunday. Was it Sunday that I hit you?
Sunday.
It was Sunday? He came in my dreams, and in that dream, he was, like, so strong and so beautiful. And I just remember in my dream, I hit him on his chest, and somebody was like, you're mad that he left you. Because I remember hitting him. I was, like, fighting him. And I woke up breathing really, really hard and, like, about to cry because it felt so real of, like, me trying to fight, like, why did you leave me?
Yeah, almost like that's your anger.
Yeah,
coming
that was
out.
my anger coming out. So it's just interesting because it's like a sad emotion, angry, all the things. Grieving is
crazy.
It's so crazy.
But I like what you said about when you said I was giving myself that talk this morning and trying to give myself affirmations, but then I still felt sad. Yeah. Like, I like that because to me it's relatable from the standpoint of like I have those days where I'm literally standing in the mirror and I'm like, you could do this.
Right.
You got this today. Like you're going to make the list and you're going to check all these things off. And then at the end of the day, I'm like, okay, maybe I did check the things off, but like how do I actually feel? And I still feel just as shitty. Right. And I'm like, it didn't work. You're like looking around like, hello, what's happening?
Sometimes
so it's relatable. Yeah.
Stop and take a pause. That was me yesterday. And it was to the point where Mom looked at me and she said, why don't you just sit down? And I was like, I can't sit down. Like, I was like, I have to keep going. And I literally feel like I kind of burned myself out. And then this morning, I was just like, at one point, just kind of like in a trance. And she was like, just sit down. It's okay. Like, just feel it for a second. So, yeah, those talks are important, but sometimes, like,
just had
even if it's like 2 minutes, you better excuse yourself, go let it out, be like, okay, you're the one, but, like, you got to go release right now.
Right.
Like,
I think it's just also realizing, like, it's okay to not be okay. Like, that is okay as long as, for me, it's okay for me when I realize, all right, today I'm not okay. But I still have things I have to do.
Yes.
Like, let me get these things done. Yes. And then I can sit in whatever feelings I feel afterwards. But then there's other days where you're so crippled to not being okay that you can't even check the things off the list.
You can't even function.
No.
You can't even, like, get to those things. And that's the conversation I had in my head. I was, like, going down the list of, like, okay, I have this today. I have that. I have this. And I'm like, okay. Once we did that, we got it. Like, I'm like, every little task I'm doing, I'm like, oh, I got it. You know, like, and I think going home today and doing Just Dance with Parker, I was like, okay, I got the podcast. I got the next thing I got to do. But yeah, like you said, like once everything is done today, maybe I'll just sit and like be able to really feel.
Yeah.
But I feel like I felt pretty much a lot this morning.
It's also a blessing to have our kids who are able to bring us back present and like give us those like simple moments of, you know what, it could be chaos, I could not feel good, but right now, like, just seeing the joy on your face brings so much peace
love,
and calmness.
How's it been since the boys are back?
Oh, it's been a journey. As y'all know, some of behind closed doors, it's always a transition when the boys get back. Boz comes home with a whole new like swag, attitude, lingo, likes, wants. All of a sudden he wants to cut his hair off and he's like, I want a bush like my dad. And I'm like,
bush?
Like a little fro. Oh. He told me to.
And I'm sitting there.
I was like, what do you mean a bush?
And I'm sitting here
he
like,
wants it to look like his dad's hair.
Got it.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, bro, you don't want that. Like, chill, boss. I'm not saying that, but I'm just like, oh, okay. Like,
that's nice.
Yeah. Anyways,
he's not letting up about it though.
No, he said it a few times, but the other day, I was like, he was like, it'll just be a lot. It won't be as much work. And I said, actually, that's going to be
more
we
work.
have to go to the barber shop. You have to brush your hair. You got to do this. He was like, I'm going to think about it. But it's
we'll
been,
circle around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Circle around that.
We'll come back to that idea.
Back to that
I'm
one.
just going to keep delaying the conversation. I'm just going to keep saying okay. It has been, I'm very happy the boys are back. I really miss the boys. But it's just been a little overwhelming and stressful because I was expecting my house to be done. And a little house update podcast, the crew. I had to get the whole, like, the building had to get repiped. It all needed new plumbing and everything. We hired a plumber who was qualified, gave a really thorough report. Like a week and a half into him starting, his father passed away on his birthday, on the plumber's birthday.
Oh, wow.
Oh, no, that's sad.
To me,
That
it was
is
like,
terrible.
it was really bad, but his communication was so horrible. Like, didn't know what was going on. So I'm like on Snapchat, like, fuck this plumber. Like, I just want my house to be done. Like, man won't pick up the phone. And then I found out his dad died. And I was like, I redact all statements. I am a horrible person.
That's horrible.
And it really literally went from me being like rah rah to like, let's pray for this man. Let's pray for his family. Like, let's just, like, I'm going to give you grace. At the same time, my dad has been helping me like figure this out. And it just was just a lot of delays, and I just felt like maybe at that time in retrospect we should have just gotten a whole new plumber from the start. But my dad was like, we're good, like, let's just continue working. So the guy would be like, hey, I'm coming in, not show up type thing. Like, it was just very sporadic. And
have you guys found a new plumber?
Yeah, girl. So what is it? It's now August, mid-August, and that was in the beginning of July. I've been for a while been like, hey, could we get a new plumber? Like, could we just get a new plumber?
Yeah.
New plumber. Like, at this point, like, the guy's communication is not good, all this stuff. So some time goes by. Then he disappears again. And at this time, he was in a car accident where he was hospitalized for a couple days. So it's just been
he's just having, like,
he's really having a spiraling. Life is lifing for everyone. So, and it's like, it just kind of reminded me, like, be mindful of my words. Like, even though someone may not be showing up in the way that I want them to, like, don't sit here and talk shit. Like, you don't know what they're going through
at all.
Like, I was super frustrated. So, my house still isn't done. Kids are home, so
Dad told me he's been to like twice this week meeting with new plumbers. Is there one that's been found yet?
I'm not sure. I got some referrals sent to him. I called some of my friends who have like recently been doing renovations at their homes or purchased homes and been dealing with all these things. So he's been, thank you, Dad, for helping me with the plumbing stuff because this is all new to me.
Yeah, I can only imagine having a whole house and trying to figure it all out.
It's
an older house.
An older house. So it's like the whole place needed new plumbing. So it wasn't just like the downstairs. Like there's 2 tenants upstairs. So it's like coordinating when the plumber can get into their house. There's like just so many moving pieces and variables. So it is coming along. Please pray that we get a new plumber this week, and hopefully I can be in there very soon because right now I am still at my mom's with the boys. Which is fine, but it's just very overwhelming. Like there's just never a quiet moment because I work with my mom. So it's like and my grandmother's there, and Nana's been having some like health issues. So it's like I'm being pulled in all different directions all day, and there is no moment of like, hey, I'll be right back, because it's like those are my kids, and I still have work. So it's been very testing, I would like to say, but nonetheless, I'm very grateful to have a roof over my head, to have my kids there, to be surrounded by family and like support. I haven't gotten any sleep because the kids have both stretched out so much. Aww. And they're in my bed right now, and it has literally been a challenge.
Boz, how is it with Boz starting school?
I'm so thankful Boz is in school right now. That does help during the day, but it's like once he gets home, it's like it's time to be active and do things. So just still finding that balance between like work and parenting. Zaire, I did find a program, like a school program for him to attend. So he starts within the next 2 weeks. I'm very, very excited because then I'll have like my daytime schedule like to myself. And that same program, they have an after school program. So they pick up Boz from his school.
Bro, she's done calculated her kids to be gone all day and then said, and then after that.
And then after school, they go pick Boz up and then they'll be together. But they like, there's like a full,
that's nice.
Like a real kitchen at the place. So they cook like real food. They have different classes.
So
like,
then what time,
school.
how long is after school from?
Until however I want. But I'll probably get my kids between like 4 and 5. Because Boz, at the end of this month.
What kind of after school is this?
Like, where
Wait, no, but really, like, what is the final pickup time on the after school?
They literally accommodate the parents. So if I need to pick my kid up at 8 o'clock because I've got work in school,
hell?
They will do.
Wow,
after
how much
stuff.
is that?
It's actually a state-funded program, so I feel really, really.
My mouth is still on the floor. I'm like,
and it's
what?
like, okay, so California, when I did the tour, because normally when I hear state-funded, I think of like the places in like it's kind of
nice,
dirty or it's not that nice. So I was really apprehensive, and then I went and did a tour, and I was like, oh, this shit is nice. Like, it's clean. There's different mandated rules. So there was like, you have, 5 or 1 teacher to like 12 kids. There they had 1 teacher to every like 6 kids. So there was like 5 faculty. There weren't that many kids. Like, there were kids, but it wasn't as many as.
So Zaire will do that program all day.
And then Boz will come join him. And they do like homework. Then they do like after school, they have like PE. They do STEM classes. They do a cooking class. They do a yoga class. They have a music class.
That.
So
I really like that. I like that you found that.
And
but now you picking up talking about you can keep them till 8
I'm not leaving my kids there.
I'm about to leave them kids till 8 o'clock. They're gonna have time to They're gonna have time to go home, bath, and get in the bed.
I have to work. No, but Boz starts his after school like program soon. Boz is about to. Okay, y'all. Boz is gonna have soccer. Oh, yes, I gotta work. Shit. Single parent still.
You said I got things to do.
Boz has soccer twice a week, and he's taking French twice a week, starting the last week of September.
Oh, cool.
So
starting the last week, and that's at the
the last week of August.
And that's at the after school.
That's somewhere else. Yes.
So, okay. I'm trying to understand the schedule now.
You have a busy schedule, girl.
Boz
I guess not.
Goes to school. He gets picked up for after school. It will be reunited with his brother.
Okay.
And then from there, 2 times a week, I will pick him up at 4 o'clock. And 2 times a week, I will pick him up at 5 o'clock.
And then Zaire stays.
Zaire stays, or you pick both of them up?
I'm going to pick both of them up.
Oh, okay.
Oh, my God. Y'all thought I would leave Zaire by himself after all that? That kid will...
Yeah. The way you were talking, we do.
Zaire stay till 8?
Right. I'm like trying to understand the way you made it seem. Yes, we do think you will.
No. They won't. He's not saying that like
So,
no,
Boz isn't doing soccer on Sundays or Saturdays anymore, and it's now during the week?
So Boz last year started playing soccer, and the boy was goofy as all outdoors.
It was great.
Cheyenne and Zach came to some games.
We came and we were like, oh, wait, this is hilarious.
Is he playing or is he?
No, he was dancing.
He was dancing.
Stop it.
He was dancing the whole time. Zach would be yelling, get up! And Boz is like, I'm a fish.
But then he would do like soccer cheers. He'd be like, sweet.
Like, all of a sudden he would act like he would get. There was one day we were there, and he got a goal scored on him, and he ran around like he scored the goal.
Yeah.
And Zach was like,
he doesn't get it.
He doesn't get it.
Yeah. So that was Boz last year. This year we had soccer tryouts. Y'all, Boz made a select team. Completely different kid.
He just needed some time to mature a little.
He needed a little time. The coach was like, how long he was like, how long has he been playing? I said, last year was his first year, and he did not play. So he's on an older team.
That's good.
The coach said that he was the playmaker because Boz was like trying to call like shots. It would be like,
he would.
You go there. Like when he had to throw the ball in,
I can already see Boz doing that.
He had the most goals out of all the teammates that day.
So he's on a real team this time.
He's on a real soccer team. So we've got practice twice a week, and we've got games on the weekends. And then we've been talking about what other thing are we gonna do. So right now language is really big in our house, and it was like, what language do you want to learn? And he said French. So I was like, cool.
Yes.
Where is he doing French at?
At Santa Monica. I got to drive out to Santa Monica 2 days a week.
Wow.
Is that a class or is that a group? What is that?
It's a class. So it's like a children's after school program.
No way.
And they offer like Chinese, Spanish, and French 2 times a week. It's like an hour-long class. And yeah, so that's
Do you stay or do you drop them off?
I'm going to drop them off and go across the street to one of my friends' restaurants and chill with Zaire. Or I was actually trying to see if they had another class that I could take during that same time.
I love that.
Yeah,
that we could practice together. I just
Yeah.
have to see if they'll let me bring my little friend to the class with me. So
that'd be cool.
Yeah.
So you guys can practice together.
Yeah, but just getting back into the swing of things, really. It's been an adjustment, but still finding little pockets to make time for myself. Like, I am dating. Like, I'm going on a date tomorrow night.
Oh, it is Thursday.
Tomorrow's Thursday, yeah. So still making time for myself, like, outside of just mom and work life right now, which has been keeping me going, I'll say. Because if not, I would be flopping like a fish, like Boz, because life be life.
How about you, Shy? I saw that Ace just started school.
Yeah, we're talking about the kids, and I didn't realize that this was the same time that this one instructor told me this was like the only time this week that she could set the schedule for some stuff for the kids. So I'm like trying to multitask.
Oh, no.
And we're over here talking about scheduling.
Yes.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm listening. And the whole time I'm like,
how's Tuesday?
You're like,
You're right.
What kind of class are we scheduling?
So normally I have the kids like summer schedule pretty laid out, and then their school schedule pretty laid out. But Ryder's school sent out their enrichment classes, and I always wait to see what they're offering,
yeah.
right? Because then it's easy to just have her stay the extra hour or whatever. Yes. But this year, I feel like, I don't know if the email came later. I don't know. So I had to wait for that, and then I had to see what everyone else's schedule is. So now I'm finally getting the schedule down. So the kids' schedules are confusing because I haven't wrote them out. But right now, it looks like, so Ryder goes to school from 8:45 to 3 o'clock every day. And then she'll do swim lessons on Monday at 4 o'clock. Then she'll do ballet on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Tuesday, I think, is from 4 to 5. Wednesday is from 5 to 6. And then on Fridays, she takes a language class. We don't know which language it is yet. It just says language on it. Don't know what the fuck that means.
They don't tell you what language?
No, you get to pick, but we're just not at that part yet. No, that's a whole nother tutor. And then on top of that, she's gonna do
Can she
tutoring.
do French? Come on.
Yeah, sure, she can pick French. I don't care. just anything but English. So,
pick a language.
And then her dad signed her up for soccer, but I don't know what day that's going to fall on. I honestly don't know.
When she's going to do that.
What day that is, yeah. And then she's also like, I want to do gymnastics. I'm like, what day of the week is that going to happen? And she's like, Thursday. You didn't say anything for Thursday. And I'm like,
stop.
Okay. But none of this is through her school. This is all outside of the school. So normally I could just sign her up for everything, and I'm just a human, like, taxi Uber driver, and I'm fine with that.
Right,
I love doing what I can do for my kids. I live for my children.
Apparently. Yes, I see.
But now Ace is 3, and he's at the age where he can be in.
He can do
programs. Like, he can do
like
sports. He can do stuff.
Real programs.
Now. So now I'm trying to build both of their schedules, and that is a new thing for me. Yeah. So Ace now is in.
Ace didn't used to have the busy schedule.
No, Ace always just had him and Isabel, and
was doing the
Isabel
like,
and him would be hanging out all the time. But now, he's at that age. We're trying to get him out of nanny life and into like reality of what life is really gonna be like. So he started school. He goes Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So this is Ace's schedule. Let me get my head together. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, he goes to school from 8 to 12. And then Tuesday, Thursday, he's going to do swim. at 10 o'clock on those 2 days.
You have a good memory.
And then Saturday, look, I'm doing the calendar.
I see it.
Saturday, he has soccer at 10 o'clock. And then I was thinking about putting Ryder in a gym class on Thursdays, and then at that same gym they do ninja class.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm trying to
So
make
they
sure
can be
the
together.
times match, because right now it seems like one would go and then the other one would have to wait, and I don't want to do that. I just want to knock it both. I can
You're
find
like,
something where we
both,
can
go.
knock them both out, then we're good with that. But that is so far what the schedule is. And my head is like going in a million different places.
Yeah.
But
God is good.
not what else
Just
do I
kidding.
have to do? Because apparently nothing. All I do
Wow.
is just
That's why I
run
started
my
with
kids
2
around.
programs.
But I'm used to Ryder having a hefty schedule. I'm not used to Ace having a hefty
both.
schedule. Yes, and then at the same time, a lot of people who like follow me on Snap and stuff know that Ace is starting school. They know that Ace is like being more busy, and they're like, "Where's Isabel? Like, what are you gonna do?" and stuff. So like,
I was thinking that the other day. I was like, oh shit, he's going to school now. What does that look like?
So that looks like right now for us, because we are trying everything to keep Isabel around in our lives. Because
Like,
please
don't leave us.
Because
Please
we
don't
do
need
want
you.
our family to grow. And my fear is, promise you, the day that we say, Isabel, we can no longer like keep you because both the kids are in school, blah, blah, it will be the day I like find
You have
out
a
that
baby,
I'm like pregnant or something. And then it's going to be
It's
like,
gonna be like,
she'll be
I have
taken
an-
already.
I already have a new family, and I think I would just be devastated. So right now, Ryder, why are you texting me 12,000 times and you were in the...
Ryder is literally in the room right next to us, y'all.
She said you never told me I was going to do ballet. Gymnastics. I never said that. I wanted to do gymnastics. Ryder, you're going to do both, okay? You're doing
I love it.
both.
Ryder's in the other
And then look at all the
room.
little smiley faces that she sent, the
Oh,
ones that
she
are
was-
sweating. You're doing
I'm
both, right?
sweating. That is hilarious.
You're doing gymnastics and ballet. Is that okay?
I've never heard anyone describe that emoji as sweating. Like, I clearly know
I
it's
always
like...
have
I
been
just
like
say, "Ooh,
sweating.
it's like,
She
it's like
said,
the nervous
"Sure."
burn.
Oh my God, my child.
It's so crazy how like the school year already it's like a different like summertime is different. You're trying to get the kids like active, and then like
The school year is just as busy. Yes.
Because I'm dreading hockey, and I'm
Plus
already.
homework.
Oh yeah,
What'd you say?
plus
Plus homework.
homework.
Yeah, plus
no,
homework. Like,
is
I'm
gonna be a whole
already,
new thing.
like-
Yeah,
I'm already dreading it too.
yeah.
Like, and I have this like group chat with all these hockey moms, and they're like, "Are you ready not to live your life no more?" I'm like,
No,
What does the
I'm not.
hockey schedule look like?
Well,
for you guys?
hockey for us, he's like it's all my whole weekend. My whole weekend is taken.
Yeah.
He has practice on Fridays from 5:30 to 6:30, and then it's Saturday. Depending on if he has games, that's like 6 in the morning to wake up to get to either Santa Clarita or Pasadena by 7 o'clock and have a game depending on how many games he has that day. And then Sunday is games.
Yeah.
So it's like that. And then he has karate at 6 o'clock on Tuesdays for like 45 minutes. And then Thursdays, he has to take it 2 times a week.
Why do we do this to ourselves?
I don't know. And it's crazy. It's
So-
so crazy.
I really like that. When we were in the car on the way here, Zach was driving me off. So we did get another car. We had to get a second car because now Ace is in
Y'all have a
school,
real
and we have like
schedule to-
Yeah.
everyone has different things. Zach's working way more in person at the office. Like there's just
Yeah.
we can't balance with one car as much as I hate
Oh, so
driving.
you guys both have a car.
So now we have the
Two
we have
cars.
2
Two
cars
cars.
now. We
I
just
love
got a car yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday, yeah.
Congratulations.
Yesterday. When did we get that car? And the whole way here, I'm like I'm glued on the phone, like glued. And he's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm working out the kids' schedule." And he's like, "Wait, it's like they get schedules again for that. We just got done with the summer schedule.
Right.
Now it's this." He's like, "School is the schedule." I'm like, "Boy, school is not just the schedule. Like there's
Things after.
there's so much more."
There's just
You
so
haven't even
much.
factored in like play dates.
Oh
those
yeah,
things.
yeah. Zach's taking Ryder to a birthday
Birthdays.
party on Sunday because it's only one parent, and it's a skating party. So Zach.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not going to the skating.
Zach or Auntie Shanan.
I can't skate, so you gotta take her to the
rollerblading or ice skating.
Ice skating.
Oh.
And I was like, babe, can
Shannon's
you take her? And he was like, yeah, I can take her. Mind you, Ryder's normally with her dad on the weekend, and I ran it by Corey, and he was like, oh no, I got something to do on Sunday. So the other day when he came to drop her off, I said, what do you have to do on Sunday that you can't take her? Sunday's normally like, your time to shine. And he was like, fantasy football. Like, and he looked at me with like so much like,
He's
the
serious.
fuck? Like, don't you know?
I'm not leaving.
I was like, what?
He looked at you like, what does your man do on
Yeah,
Sunday?
he looked at me like, what are you like?
What are you talking
I was just
about?
like, oh, okay,
Oh my
I
goodness,
don't know.
the football season has hardly started. Well, there
You
goes
know,
his Sunday.
There's one thing that I have learned to do so well, I feel like, in my adult life. And
Tell
I
us about
think
it.
that
What is it?
it comes with with parenting, it comes with the relationships, it comes with co-parenting, it comes with marriage,
Like, what is it?
is to pick and choose your battles.
Yeah,
To pick and choose them.
I'm learning that.
There are so many things that I could battle, and I could go to war, and I
Yeah.
could probably
Win.
win.
Most
I could
definitely.
probably massacre the place. I picture blood everywhere. Like, I could really do that, but I don't.
Cheyenne
like,
just
okay.
tapped into her inner Khaleesi.
I just go.
Is Khaleesi crazy on the Game of Thrones?
Fantasy football. Have fun, sir.
I'm like, yeah.
I don't know what she does.
Yeah, but I swear, there's some days where it's like, okay. The other day, me and Zach were getting our nails done. There's like no one else in the nail shop. Well, I set an appointment to get my nails done, and then we dropped Ace off at school, and he's like, "Where you going?" I'm like, "Doing my nails done." He's like, "Did you make me an appointment to get my nails done?" And I was like, "Just come with me." So we're sitting there getting our nails done, and we were both tired, so we're not talking to each other. But it wasn't like we were ignoring each other, but we were just tired and enjoying getting our nails done in peace and in silence, right? The lady who's doing my nails was like, "Oh my God, you're married." And I said, "Yeah." And she goes, "You look so young to be married." And I was like, "Yeah, you know."
Yeah.
Like, and I'm thinking, like, you know, when you're getting a service and they start talking to you, I wish, like, there was, like, a way where you
Like,
could either
don't talk
say,
to
like,
me.
I want to talk or I don't want to talk,
Like on Uber.
Yes.
Yeah, like on Uber. So you don't want to be rude because, shit, you're about to cut my finger. Like, I don't want to be rude. So I'm like, yeah, I'm married. Yeah, I know I look young, you know. And then and she's like, well, how's marriage? And I'm sitting here
shit.
next to my husband, but she doesn't realize that we're married. Because
Is
we're
he
not
here,
even,
the
he's right
conversation?
next to, as close as we are, we're right next to each other. And Zach is like not even like paying, he's like this the whole time, like mummied with his hands and his toes in the water.
Zach really gets into
Like
his
he
manis.
really is
I
into
love
his
it.
mani-pedis. So he's like, I don't give a fuck about her. And whatever she says to
Same.
this lady, because I'm getting my hands
I'm
done.
relaxing.
And she was like, well, how's marriage? And I was like, you know, it's great. It's up and down, and marriage is, you know, consistent. And I was just trying to, like, give, like, all these generic answers. And she was like, yeah, marriage is really hard. You know, she was telling me how she's married and how, like, you know, it's really tough. And
she
how
was really
You're
trying
like,
to have
I
a
didn't
conversation.
ask.
Yes, she was really having a conversation. And then, you know, she was like, do you like your husband? And I was, and I'm like, yeah, I like him a lot. And she was like, yeah. So where is he? Where are the kids and stuff?
Where is he?
And literally, I go like this. Meh. And I point. If anybody's listening, I literally do like a little point. Me. He's right there. Like the emoji where it's like the finger
Yes.
one. And then she goes, oh my God. And she looks at me and then looks at Zach and is like, you weren't going to tell me he's right here the whole time.
No.
And he looks at her and goes, I'm fine. And he was like, I swear he did not even care. He was like, whatever she
I'm
said,
fine.
I'm not listening to you guys. I'm getting my fucking nails done.
He was like, just don't start talking to me.
Yes. He was like, whatever you do, just don't talk
Just
to me.
shut up and don't talk.
Oh, it was so funny. I was just like, wow, is this what marriage is about? She was looking
And my
like,
kids are at school.
yeah, she was like, wait, that's him the whole time. You guys haven't said one word to each other.
Don't need to.
I'm like, we see each other all
Every day. We
every
came
day.
here to relax.
Yes.
Like, let us chill.
I don't want to talk about him right now. I like him a lot.
So
I
funny.
really
like
do.
him, yes.
As
He's
a
great.
married person, what do you think is like the most common question you get like people ask you
how's marriage?
Just how is it in general?
Yeah, how's
just
marriage?
based off when people see your ring, they're like, oh, how's marriage?
Oh, wait, no. I thought you meant from people who know me.
Oh, that was hilarious.
People who don't know us, I feel like the first question they ask is, how long have you guys been married?
Okay.
Got it.
Yes.
Okay.
It's
and
like
then
how long.
do they proceed to ask you questions
and then,
like
yeah,
the lady
because
did?
it depends on like what kind of mood we're in, depends on what kind of answer we give.
Got it.
So
if you're in a
technically,
bad mood and not wanting to talk,
we've been married for 2 years, but like if we're like, hanging
Vibing.
out or
Talkative,
vibing,
yeah.
then Zach was, he goes into like a little longer answer. We've been married for 2 years, but we've been together for 5 years. But really, we've been kissing on each other for 17 years. Like, what answer do you want?
like how, like
Right,
where do you
like
want to
that,
go with
like
it?
there's the, because I feel like
17 years just seems so
That's a long time,
it's
Shy.
a long time. You gotta think.
He's, like,
I've
kissing on
been
each other.
kissing Zach's face since I was 16.
Ew.
That's crazy.
I am about to be 32.
Even bigger ill.
Yes, it is.
I
You're
didn't
about to be
realize. I've heard you
32.
talk about that before.
It-
When you were having a conversation with somebody else that was married
Mhm.
for a long time, or like dating somebody for a long time, and I didn't realize it's been 17 years
It's been a long
That's a
time.
long time.
Yes.
that you've been kissing on him. Together 5.
This
Look at
we've
I'm
been
trying
together
to-
now like since we started redating since the last time
Yeah.
we broke up. It's been like 5 years. Mhm.
I
was
remember when the
5
night when
years
Zach
ago?
came back.
Yeah, it's been 5
It was
years.
a whole thing, wasn't it? Like
It
Zach's
was like
back,
right
Zach is
before
back,
my
your
birthday,
birthday.
too.
Because
Zach
we
is
all
back.
went to Palm Springs, and that was the whole
Yeah.
thing.
Sometimes I
Zach is
don't
back.
realize how long we have been like dating or been together or
Yeah.
how long and how much history our relationship really has.
Mhm.
I think sometimes I forget, but then I get quickly reminded when something happens and I'm like, damn, like we've been doing this for a really long
Long
time.
time.
And I think that side of it, a lot of people don't understand about our relationship. Because sometimes people will see us and be like, you guys act like you're friends more than you act like
But you guys
you are
friends.
like married. I'm like,
yeah.
we are friends though.
Yeah.
Like we have to realize like we were friends before we were anything else. And we are married. We love each
That's
other
your
and
best
we're
friend.
but at the end of the day, like
lover.
he's my best friend.
Yeah.
So and you do different things in front of different people that you're comfortable with. Like you open your relationship differently in front of different people. And I would
Yes.
say that as I'm getting older and as I'm getting more married or whatever, like going longer
I like
into
it,
this
yeah.
married life, I do feel like the older I'm getting, the more I'm realizing like how much I need to protect my marriage.
And share, and not to share with
Yeah,
the certain
yeah,
people.
like my marriage is sacred to me. You know what I mean? And like, how much of it am I gonna share, and how much of it am I gonna keep to myself? But I also
good advice.
realize
I like that.
That's
yeah.
really good advice.
yeah, like it's not for everyone. I remember when we first started filming, and this was like first season, so this was like 7 years ago, and a producer would be like, "You guys don't really kiss on camera. Like, are you guys like not affectionate towards each other?" And we were like, "No, we're very affectionate, but like." You have to realize there's like 15 people in the room looking at us
Right.
and 4 cameras and security and like we're not gonna just sit here and
Like,
make
kiss-
out.
kiss
right.
each other.
And I realized like back then we were very like private. You know what I mean? Like
Interesting.
we were like, you want us to kiss in front of you? Like that's weird. And maybe like 3 weeks ago we were filming like a pickup scene and everyone was in our bedroom filming a scene of us talking. We weren't like on the bed
Did
or
they wanna
nothing.
see you kiss?
And then I realized at the end of it, I'm like, by the end of that scene, we're in the bed. Zach tackled me. He's making out me on top of the bed. And I'm like, wow, so much has changed. We just don't give
Just
a
comfortable
we
now.
just don't even care now. We're like, all right, fuck it, we're going to sit
Like,
here.
here we are.
We're
This
going
is
to do
us.
us.
Wow.
But I realized
Like getting tackled and making out.
Oh, and they were like, can you do it again? We were like, no. But I realized that, like, as we get older, we share more, and then there's other things in our marriage that we protect more. And there's just it's just I think it goes in like waves and cycle. I feel like the more, even with parenting, like you grow as your kid grows, and there's new challenges, there's new difficulties. There's, you know what I mean? But you grow with it. And I think for us, because we did get married young and because we did start dating so young, we have grown up with each other in different seasons of our life, and our marriage is no different.
Yeah, I like that.
You guys have been through a lot of seasons together, and it's like, I feel like certain things that maybe people learn or figure out in their early stages of marriage, you guys have already kind of experienced some of those things in terms of like problem solving or like, you know, really having each other's backs. Like those things came before marriage. And I feel like just from what I've seen or like what I've heard in conversation, like those things will be there before marriage, but it's like I just feel like you guys have really been tested in that sense. And it's very solid, where I know some people were like, oh, we weren't together as long, but we got married, and now we're figuring out these things, like how to have these conversations or how to navigate life together, or like,
and that's hard.
And that's not just the hard times, but it's the good times too. Like you can be on a high and your partner's not on a high, and it's like,
balancing and you balance factors off of your partner's energy. At least for me, if Zach wakes up and I could tell he's in a bad mood, or he had a nightmare, or he's depleted, like I can tell from the second that he wakes up, and it just sucks it out of me. Like it just takes it out of me. So if he's having a bad day, I already know I'm having a bad day too. And that's something that we went to therapy for, because we are so like dependent on each other for like an emotional balance. Yeah. Where it's like that I can't do that and he can't do that. If I'm in a bad mood, he's in a bad mood. And if he, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't help to get the other person out. But we had to realize that very quickly in our relationship, that we do that to each other. You know what I mean? And that's something that
feed off each other's energy.
Yeah, that's something that I feel like I've never done in any of my other relationships. Like
feed off of what your other partner feels or going through.
No. We were just laughing the other day about this guy that I dated in between Zach and, I'm not gonna name any names, but he was like a cuckoo. And then there was like one day that he was like really mad, and the whole time me and Mom and Kyle were just sitting there looking at him like laughing, and I was like, okay, how do I get out of this situation?
Was not laughing.
No, we were laughing at him. We were like, this is some like, weird shit, okay?
What's going on?
What's happening?
I realized, and I could like go on in my dating list of like thinking about people I've dated and how I've never been so like empathetic or connected. Yes. Let's say that.
Connected.
Yes.
Empath.
So I do think that, you know, I think it is challenging though. And in doing that, I don't know. Someone the other day was talking to me about marriage and was like, how do you feel? And I was like, marriage is not for the weak. Like, it's not.
Yeah. You guys have to, I'm sure it's like an ongoing thing. Like you said, it's like raising a child, and like
you grow and it's something new
every day.
And I feel like everyone's like, oh, you have a 7-year-old. Oh, okay, how's that? Like, it's so much easier now that she's not a baby. I'm like, now there's a whole
different ball game. I was thinking about that yesterday with Parker, like him being 8 and his emotions and the things that he says. I'm like, oh, I realized that yesterday. I was like, you are in another path of like your feelings and expressing and all these things that I have to navigate now. Like, I just thought I was over that one hump, like, but it's a whole new, going into 3rd grade, he has all these different feels and like thoughts and all these things. And yesterday at karate, just like how like doubting and all these things, I'm like, whoa. Like, what?
The emotions are
what
crazy.
Is this?
Yeah.
I'm like, why?
It's like, and it isn't, so Parker's, so puberty, are we having these conversations yet?
Not yet, but I think this year in 3rd grade they start.
Yeah.
So I'm probably
because it's happening earlier now.
Yes, for a lot of girls and everybody.
Everybody.
I think I'm gonna try to have that conversation a little bit more. I think.
Wow.
It's gonna be uncomfortable for me,
nervous.
But yeah, I'm gonna have to have that. I think before going into 3rd grade and knowing that that is gonna be touched on.
Yeah.
All the feels.
But it's like you said, everything is just each year, each thing is like new growth. It's just like you think you finished like a task and you're like, oh,
and then it's the next one.
It's the next one.
Shanan, just wait till you have your next child, and you'll be like, I've been through these things, and then you've got another one, like, cussing you out or yelling at you.
I'm not ready.
With the other day, so one of my biggest things,
I'm going to run right to the bathroom.
We all do a pretty good job of this, is trying to create, like, an environment for our kids to have, like, an emotional intelligence and to be able to, like, communicate their emotions. And I know Parker will tell you how he feels. I know Ryder will be very vocal. Ace is vocal, too. So the other day, I was at Cheyenne's house when they were out of town. I just went to go check on the house. They had a grill being delivered. And I took Zaire. And Zaire was so excited. And he kept saying, oh, I'm going to see Ace. We're going to Ace's house. And I was like, Ace isn't there, but, like, I don't know, just wasn't clicking. Like, he was like, no, Ace is going to be, he was like, no, it's Ace with Isabel. Like, so then he was waiting for Ace to come home, and I was like, no, Ace is gone. He was on a plane, had to explain this whole thing. So, sitting there, cooking some food, all of a sudden, Zaire he goes, ah. He lets out a yell, and I'm like, yo, what's wrong? He goes, I'm angry. And I said, oh, and you said, I'm angry at you.
Oh, no.
And at that point, I was like, oh, shit, like, what did I do? Like,
what happened?
I'm looking around, like, this 2-year-old is telling me he's angry. Not only is he angry, but he's angry, like, at you. So I'm like, okay, Zaire, like, what happened? So I started asking him some questions as he's, like, sitting there pouting, looking at me, rolling his eyes. And I'm like, what's going on? He was like, we're at Ace's house, and Ace isn't here.
You're like, I told you, boy.
And he was like, I'm angry. Like, I want to see Ace. I want to play with the toys with Ace.
Yeah.
So it was one of those moments where, as a parent, I was like, oh, shit. Like, okay. Like, well, damn, my bad. But at the same time, I was really, really happy because I was like,
you're showing,
you're communicating, like, this is
your emotions.
This is what I want you to do, rather than just, like, scream or throw something or, like, want to fight me. You know? Like, just use your words. So it was one of those moments where I was like, yay for parenting. But it was also like, damn, am I really doing this all over again? Because
that is interesting. I didn't think about that.
Oh yeah. The big one's gonna just keep
going through his emotions,
with more challenges,
more
new
puberty, and then I'm gonna have
another one who's giving you all the same rundown. But it's gonna be a lot of fun.
I can't wait.
I pray for the day. Okay, Shanan, do you have any advice or a WTF of the week?
Do you have advice?
Yeah, I have a WTF, but I don't really feel like I could share it. But
well, let's not say that.
Yeah, I can't share. I guess my advice, I've been trying to take this advice, still carve out space for myself as I'm, like, scheduling my life around my children and around work. Like, this year, I've been really, not this year, but, like, since the kids have been back, I've really tried to focus on scheduling, like, just me time in there, too. Whether I'm just, a few hours out the house by myself, whether I do something with my guy, like, just still do things that feed into our Kylin as a woman, outside of work, outside of parenting, outside of family. And just carve out time for yourself. Let pour into yourself and allow those who are healthy and good for you to pour into you as well. So what about you, Shanan?
I guess my advice would be what I said earlier. Just go ahead and let yourself cry it out or feel, even if you're giving yourself a pep talk and know that you're strong and all those things. But if you're still feeling sad, go ahead and release it. It's okay to cry. It's okay to show your kids your emotions. It's okay to talk about it with your kids so they can understand what you're going through. But yeah, just go ahead and release. It's good. I've been doing it all day.
All day.
Also,
all day.
A quick little shout out. I just wanted to bring up, I love when people see, like, any of us out in the wild.
In the world.
I was at the library the other day, and me and Parker, I was going to do studying with Parker at the library, and all of a sudden I heard somebody like, hey, do you got a podcast? And I was like, yes. Yes, I do. I'm like, But they're like, and then they're like, oh, and then the woman was like, oh my God, like, I love your guys' podcast. I listen to you guys all the time. So it was just really refreshing, and I got really excited, and I was just saying, like, you know, thank you for supporting us and listening to us. And it was just, it's so nice when you guys spot us in the wild.
It's like we're animals out of the zoo.
No, but it was just a really refreshing, and of course my like loving huggable self, I was like, oh my God, like she was just like going on like, I love your guys' podcast, and I was like, do you want a hug?
Aw, Shanan.
And she got out of her car and she gave me a hug, and she was like, oh my God, yeah, I have 2 boys and you guys are amazing, so thank you. I didn't get your name, but shout out to you.
Aw, I love that.
It was a good
I like
moment.
when people speak.
Yes.
It's always awkward when they just
I
look
do
and then they don't
too.
speak, and I'm like, is there something on my face? Or
Right, like, is something wrong?
She
She's
might
like, I
send
knew
a message later.
She's like, I knew
Yeah.
I recognized you. I knew you. Because, like, her man said hey to me first, like, to say, like, you got a podcast?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. She's like, I told him I recognized you. So I'm like, hey, girl.
Oh, I love that.
Love it.
Did you do yours?
I did.
Yes.
I don't have one, but I do want to just share that we made the slate for 2 of the categories on People's Choice
Oh, I love you're bringing this
Awards
up.
for the podcast awards. So we're on Best Female Hosted and then Best Black Hosted. So they sent out emails to everybody who, or not everybody, they send out emails to people who voted,
Okay.
and now you have voted to get us nominated, right? Now you have, if you got another email, then you're able to vote for the final like winner of each category. So if
I was
any
honestly
of
a
you
little
guys,
Me too.
it's all right. If any of you guys received that email, now we really need you guys to vote because now they're going to pick a winner. But we are slated in both of those categories, so Best Female Hosted Podcast and Best Black Hosted Podcast. So they said that they sent out emails to people who nominated us, and now you have the option to vote or not, and this is when it really counts.
Right.
Now we really need you to
Now
This
vote.
is
we
your
need
time
you
to
to
shine.
vote.
Yeah, so if anybody
crew.
got an email from the People's Choice Awards, please check your email and vote for us so that we can win.
Is it only people who receive the email, or can
Yes.
others vote
No,
too?
it's only people who have received
Oh,
that
shit.
email.
Y'all look in your emails.
Yeah,
Oh, that
so
is
what
so
it is
scary.
like originally everybody who voted, you got us nominated. And now we made the slate. It's like we made the cut. You
We
know
made
what
a
I
cut,
mean?
yeah.
So we made the cut for the Best Female Hosted, and we made the cut for the Best Black Hosted. But now they have emailed out, like, they said, I think they sent out like 20,000 emails or something to people who have nominated
yeah.
their favorite podcast. But now those people have to check their emails and vote for their favorites who have made those slates. So again, if anyone has received one of those emails,
please
vote for us on those.
Please.
Or
That's
if
it.
you voted, please go look for the email.
Yeah, no, really. Because
Check
I
your
had to read it
spam.
like a few times to understand. Like,
You must have knew that I was about to ask you about that today, because
Really?
it was on my
It was
mind. I'm like,
confusing,
what is the next steps? Like, what? I'm like, I'm super excited that we, made the slate of 2 of them. I'm like, well, here we are. You guys better go through those emails.
yeah, I was honestly like, I don't understand. But then I did my research and then I quickly understood. So that's pretty
Okay.
much it.
Cool.
But besides that, like, I don't have a WTF.
Any advice?
I don't have any advice. I just have,
Do you have a question to pose?
do I have a question to pose? I like that one. For next week?
Yeah.
Okay. My question is, because I keep getting this question every time I do a podcast with other people, they ask me this, and then I realized that we asked Chanel this question when we interviewed her.
Ooh, what is
And now I want to ask you guys, and maybe we can make something and put it on the Instagram also, and then people can answer through
Yes.
SpeakPipe.
it? Ooh, I like that.
So my question to people out there who are listening, how do you balance it all? And that can be, I don't want to say how do you balance work and kids and husband, because that's really what I want to ask, because I want to know how you do, because that's my life.
Like, how do you balance
But
self?
but for everybody, how do you balance it all? Like, how do you balance being yourself? How do you balance being a mom or being a co-parent or being a stepmom or being a sister or being a daughter or a grandma, like, and then working, and then also being in a relationship, and then also having time for yourself, and then also going to church, and then like all these things, like, how do you balance it? Friendships. The question is, how do you balance it all?
The political state.
And my last comment is, my friend Maya, she just started a podcast called Doing It All. And she had asked me on the podcast, she said, how do you do it all? And I'm like, how do I do it all? So I think it's been running through my head. So that is the question that I want to propose to you guys. How do you balance it all? How do you do it all? If you guys have not checked out her podcast, check it out. It's called Doing It All. And the second half of my question, which has nothing to do with the first half of my question, is, if you are a mom or a stepmom or you have kids, what is your biggest flex?
Oh, what's your biggest flex?
They asked me this, and I did not have an answer prepared. And then I thought about it. I kept thinking about it, and I'm like, what is my biggest
flex?
I'm not going to say it.
Okay. Look at me. Okay.
I'm not going to say it. I'll tell you later. But I'll tell you the answer I told them on their podcast. But I want people to go listen to it, so I'm not going to tell you guys here. But on this, I'm not going to tell them. On the speak pipe, answer one of the two questions. How do you balance it all? And that's an umbrella question for everybody to be able to answer. And then the second question is, what is your biggest flex as a parent?
I like that. I think that could be a whole episode.
What's your biggest flex?
What's your biggest flex?
Those accomplishments.
Yeah. Don't give them any ideas. What is your biggest
mountains
flex?
have you moved?
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in to the Think Loud Crew podcast. Don't forget to follow, like, and comment, and subscribe on Think Loud Crew on Instagram and on YouTube, and help us to continue to grow our crew. You can follow me at Shy Not Shy.
You can follow me at Hair by Shanan C.
You can follow me at R. Kyle Lynn. And don't forget to tell your crew
about our crew.